Hi, my name is Katie Freeman, and today I'll be defending my senior thesis on the church's role in rethinking parenthood through in vitro fertilization and embryo adoption. I found a passion in this topic after many conversations with couples in my local church who are experiencing infertility and praying through and exploring different options. In this paper, I argue a pro-life church should support in vitro fertilization and embryo adoption and stand with those who are experiencing infertility by bringing awareness, partnering with clinics, and providing support groups to those facing infertility. You might ask, what is in vitro fertilization? In vitro fertilization, also known as IVF, is the process of taking both sperm and egg out of the body and placing them in a petri dish to undergo fertilization, then implanting them into the body with hopes of conception. Much like other boundaries set before God, as a broken society, we've lost all sense of moderation. Irresponsible IVF is found through the harvesting of multiple eggs to heighten the chance of pregnancy. During this time, during the process of IVF, women will take 20 or more eggs out at a time with hopes to fertilize at least one of those. And many times it's found to fertilize multiple, which creates multiple embryos. As a Christian, through this research, I believe that we're to be consistent with biblical reproduction, and in that, I believe responsible IVF is for a couple to choose to only produce the amount of embryos that they're willing to carry per pregnancy. So for some, this could be carrying one embryo to only have one child, or some might consider implanting 3 with hopes to conceive triplets or even twins. If a couple decides to have more children in the future, they would go through the same process again. Also, IVF must take place within God's design of marriage. The role of marriage is found in Genesis 2:24. A man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. And also the command given in Genesis 1:28 to be fruitful and multiply. To follow after in vitro fertilization, also known as IVF, one must consider embryo adoption. Like I said earlier, as multiple embryos are formed through the harvesting of multiple eggs during the process of in vitro fertilization, embryo adoption is a solution to the problem created by irresponsible in vitro fertilization. Embryo adoption provides life and fulfillment to families facing infertility, and it's also a cheaper way to fulfill the desire and the need for a family. So in this paper, I argue the church's role and responsibility in rethinking parenthood through in vitro fertilization and embryo adoption. So the role of the church, I believe, is to bring awareness, partnering with clinics, and provide support groups or discipleship groups to those facing infertility. Bringing awareness can help someone to feel seen or understood or known that's experiencing this difficulty. We as a society talk about many different issues in the church. Some of these may be alcohol addictions, drug addictions, financial issues, things of that nature, but infertility is something that is not spoken about much in the church. And so simply bringing awareness to the issue can, again, just give confirmation to those experiencing this in feeling seen and understood and known. Providing and partnering with clinics is also a key fundamental in the role of the church and the responsibility given to us, ensuring that all of these treatments and this legal and medical process is founded on the truth and the Word of God and within the boundaries set before Him. This takes into consideration the role of marriage in procreation and even the balance within marriage of that. This is not homosexual couples getting treatment or single parents getting this treatment. This is a husband and a wife who are just experiencing infertility and struggling with conception. I would argue the last key aspect in the role and responsibility of the church in partnering with people experiencing infertility is providing support and discipleship groups. These groups provide an intimate setting for people to be vulnerable and open with one another in the struggles that they're going through. Through my personal experience, support groups have been an encouragement to me in struggling through different areas of life. This allows people to be open and not have to feel uncomfortable, but provides that intimate setting. So each of these roles, bringing awareness, providing and partnering with clinics, and providing support and discipleship groups are key fundamentals in the role of the church in partnering with those experiencing infertility and supporting those considering in vitro fertilization and embryo adoption. The strength of responsible IVF is allowing modern technology and medical advancement to do in some cases what could not naturally occur. The weakness is that the process is expensive to only produce the amount of embryos that they're willing to carry. And in this process, there's no 100% guarantee that the embryos or the eggs will become fertilized to create embryos, or even during the implantation period that they take when they're being transferred into the mother. Going through the process of in vitro fertilization and embryo adoption can really take a toll on a family emotionally and psychologically. When thinking through what I would do differently, I would research IVF and embryo adoption, maybe in different denominations, and consider the argument found in the Southern Baptist Convention to counter my argument with greater detail and stronger sources. IVF and embryo adoption, if considered and done responsibly, can fulfill the missing piece in a family and also bring hope and life to another couple who maybe IVF or other reproductive technologies haven't worked for. The church is to love and care for these families and showing support by shedding light on the issue and difficulty at hand, also ensuring clinics with a Christian foundation, and lastly, providing counseling and or support groups for couples navigating these difficulties with prayer and encouragement.